Hello everybody and welcome to another Crowncast. We're now up to episode 40, which is really it's gone very fast because it's like 3 episodes a week. And today we have AmzAveGameAnt. Woo!
Yeah! Or just amazingly average Anthony. Just keep it simple.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think I said it sort of correct.
No, you actually got it right versus the usual blah, 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 blah,
Yeah.
blah.
Well, I can say it. It's just really annoying to say.
Yeah.
So people can call him Anthony, as he always say. If you can say his YouTube or Twitter name.
Yeah, I thought the abbreviation would be catchy and easy to say. Apparently I was so very wrong. So very wrong.
Yeah, you had
I'm
even to do a whole YouTube video about it.
Well, that was kind of like a parody because a lot of people just kept messing it up. And I'm like, it's AMS for amazingly, Av for average, game for gameplay, and then it's like Ants for Anthony.
Yeah. I understand why. Yeah, names is the hardest thing because you're always, okay, will this be perfect, or is this a good name? Or like, okay, everyone's gonna remember it because it's sort of like, it stands out, but then it gets too complicated, so people like, oh, I don't freaking understand, or don't try to understand it, so.
Good times.
Yeah, that's why Mark-on Stories I went for it, because just the fact that I wanted something simple and something that everyone could remember. And I could, because my real name, people have a hard time pronouncing it. So that's just why because also I wanted to do mostly stories and write stories and have like audio books and stuff. That will come, but in the meantime I just do this amazing podcast.
Yeah, we got the Crown Cast. It's bloody fucking amazing.
Yes, it is. So, tell everybody who you are and I don't know what you do. Tell people about yourself.
We are real gamers.
Yeah, real.
I'm Anthony, and I do YouTube videos. Like you do YouTube videos. Like people who watch probably do YouTube videos.
Yes.
I have a personal channel nobody knows about, which is just like random videos where I just talk about whatever, sometimes meaningful things, other times just absolute nonsense. And then more recently I did a gaming channel, just like about everybody else. But I did it kind of... I remember saying that I did it similar for the same reason DSP started his. Because I just wanted to share gameplay. Because there's always those moments, when you're sitting around with friends... You're like, oh man, did you see that? That was great. And you kind of just wish other people could see it too. And YouTube kind of gives you that ability, or even Twitch, because I also do Twitch, but not nearly as much. So it's got a lot of gameplay stuff, sometimes skits, sometimes video game discussions, all that other good stuff.
Yeah, I sort of have the similar reasons, good moments. The most thing I regret not catching on video is as I started an NHL channel, even and now I probably not gonna continue with it, but I had my first season run with in NHL 13. I had an amazing storyline for the whole season. I have certain players and certain I scored with them in specific moments, and it is just sort of like a real hockey NHL season. It was just so it just became a perfect sort of storyline for it all, and I managed to have an epic Stanley Cup run, and I won the whole thing with New York Islanders. So I regret really much not getting that on like you recorded. So that's the mostly I regret. But other than that, I just wanted to do gameplay more because I wanted to learn how to speak English better and get more comfortable, because I base that theory off there's this YouTube channel called Edit CP, and the person there, Seku, uh, he showed uh, his first YouTube video, and it was him being like, "Hello everybody, I am Seku. It's nice to meet you." You know that, like, that stereotype, like is completely afraid to do anything, like so so. And now he's just, I would say batshit crazy, but he's himself. He's not that shy anymore. He just put himself out there, and that's
He's got a personality.
yeah, or at least we get to see his personality now, because
Yeah.
he isn't afraid anymore to show it to the world. So seeing him was probably the most, is where I got the idea. I should just do like, and I also did like Minecraft and stuff like that in the beginning, because it wasn't really about getting views for me. It was just doing something that the whole world could watch, even though not many people would watch. But getting something out there, like putting yourself out there, get out of the shell you used to be in, which people know me as this open, crazy person. I mean, in the beginning, if people go to my older channel and just listen to my first video, and like, you can see how you can hear how nervous I am in just that one and stuff. So I've grown a lot. So that's the
Yeah,
reason
I mean,
why I
you
did.
definitely have a better reason than most people to do it, because not only are you just trying to share experiences, at the same time you're trying to learn English, or at least I should be able to speak it
Yeah,
better, as well as
yeah,
the whole public speaking skills, which is definitely a great thing. I mean,
yeah,
it's definitely great to want to get out of that shell. I mean, it's really brave. Most people, don't take that leap. So
yeah.
I
And
applaud you for it.
yeah. That was a serious leap I decided, along with because I think I said it in my first ever Crowncast, that I really just I decided that I really wanted to change, because always I dream of have dreams and put myself in stories, or like in sort of like jobs and stuff, and like think like, okay, if I were more that person, then I could have those things or get those jobs or whatever it was that I thought about. So only way that is ever going to happen is if I strive to become that person that I really want to be. So it's the
Absolutely. And thus, Mark Crown Stories.
yes, and I also have to thank uh, John and OJ for it, because if I wouldn't put myself out there on the show, I probably wouldn't. It wouldn't have been as successful as it was, because yeah, it worked
Yeah,
out
John
great
and
for me.
OJ, they definitely help out a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, I think just hearing Rex, who goes on the show now, because he said in his first, when he come on the first time, that he has autism. So I mean, I completely understand. He does, just in the comment section and that sort of stuff. Some people may not understand fully what that mean, or don't really know it. So, but I applaud uh, both Jan and OJ to have him on every time he wants on, because I don't think he fully understands that he can't be on for every time or whatever it is. I mean, has that condition for a reason. So I just the way they have helped him is just great seeing.
Yeah.
So yeah, what the hell is?
You're under attack. Run!
Yes.
They found your mark.
Yeah, I found my secret hideout. I was working on in my mind Snossman Hole Punch episode myself, what I would have created a standalone episode with sort of my design of character in it. It wasn't really that bad, to be honest, but I don't know. Probably don't have, when I visit New York, I probably don't have enough time to actually do that. But that
Just give it a shot anyways.
Yeah, I will shoot the idea to John, and then he can just decide if maybe they can convince me to stay a little longer if I can crash at OJ. It wouldn't be a problem for me if I, but hotel-wise would be a problem. So.
Or what you do is when you show up to OJ's house, just go ahead and just hand him a rag and be like, I brought you a gift from Sweden. Tell me, does this smell like chloroform? And you just take over OJ's pad. Just for a little while. As long as you need to.
OJ kidnap, finally.
For as long as you need to, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's... I haven't talked much about gaming in general on this channel for some time, I feel like. So I feel like it's about time to talk a little bit more about it, because you're big into gaming, both you and Nate. Gamer Talk Live, yay.
That's right. You're like an unofficial co-host.
Yeah.
you and Lambent are on all the time.
Yeah. I didn't come on last Gamer Talk Live
because
I didn't speedruns is I had the same sort of opinion as you could see Nate just starting play GTA, but like I had the same like sort of feeling like, okay, maybe I should just go and do something. Nothing wrong with the opinions and getting people to know about speedruns, but it's, I mean, if I want to do it, then I would just do it.
Yeah, it's not everybody's cup of tea, and even then, not everybody's going to be interested in the subject. We understand. That's why we try to just do a little bit of everything, try and talk about all the different stuff as far as the gaming community is concerned. That's like Nate's baby. He's like Gamer Talk Live, trying to get the community together, which is great. Yeah. That's why I'm glad to be a co-host on that as well.
Yeah, I think you're doing a really great show of it, but the hard part for Gamer Talk Live is the fact that there's so many other podcasts doing like gaming wise, what I can see at least. So it's hard to compete.
Yeah.
Only way really to get bigger that way is if you get people like DSP and stuff, and people and those with more famous people.
Yeah, I mean, that's something we're working towards. I've been getting people to come on. Like, I originally got DSP to come on. We got John and OJ to agree to come on. We know they're busy, though, so we're probably going to try and work something out with them as far as getting them on. We had members from She Attack and Game Meets Girl come on for the whole girl gamer, what is a gamer debate thing, too. So I definitely have things in the works. I'm trying to make connections and get things going. Our main focus is to what's kind of make us different is to just discuss specific topics versus to where most gaming podcasts kind of just talk about only gaming news, even though we do have like gaming news at the beginning, just so we're not stuck talking about one subject over and over and over till it's like we're beating a dead horse.
Yeah, I can I sort of see your point with it, with having topics, but at some point I think you guys have to when I sort of feel like
We're gonna run
topic.
out at one point
Yes.
or another.
So I feel like you have to come up with other stuff also to do in it. So
I mean, we'll
or
probably
maybe just
evolve
have
from there.
people come on and talk about the news you talked about earlier on this show or whatever it was you guys talked about. But both you and Nate have a great chemistry. So uh, you feel like Gamer Talk Live will work out great. The longer.
He's the J to my Silent Bob, even though I actually talk probably way more than I should.
Yeah. Well, it's sort of weird because you're the guy who you're sort of like the host indirectly because you make it go forward. The show really well. Nate is just the guy, just comments on the stuff. So I feel that's
That's usually how it works. You have the co-host is the one that takes care of the nitty-gritty, and you have the host is like the face,
yeah.
the person who does the talking, the persona that brings the people there, keeps them
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, I've been pondering ideas for how to evolve the Crowncast because at some point I know that I probably would want to have a co-host because it's not that I don't or I would want to have a sort of different uh, and maybe take Crowncast down to like 2 a week and have one with a co-host or like something like that because uh, smart guy is probably gonna be like, oh, I gonna be your co-host really because we talk
Smart guy for co-host.
yeah. Well, it's not that I don't like smart guy. I mean, we talk.
Nobody likes smart guy.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but I enjoy talking to smart guy, but it's just I don't feel like we work that well as the chemistry wise because I don't feel like our chemistry works in a podcast setting. We could work in doing gameplay together sort of way, like co-op games because we're like to take a piss out of each other in a way that's really hilarious when it comes to gameplay, but I don't feel like we would work that well in co-op. Yes, or in like a co-host situation because I don't know if it's the age difference or is it the fact that I mean some stuff the broken podcast I did with Smart Guy where what to talk about like who would be the next Batman and he didn't know a single actor, then I was like, okay, this is a hint sort of how I don't feel like we would really work that.
Just gets derailed. What you should do is you should hold auditions. Why not?
Auditions, yeah.
Or see if Ducky Rachel, or I think she changed to Ducky Birdie, be your
Yeah.
co-host. Then again, it might turn more erotic, and then it'll have to be a whole entire show altogether.
I first need to have her on as a guest to know that we actually can have a single like Crowncast together.
I don't think you guys would even be able to get halfway through. It would basically just be like the fanfic just realized.
That it sure would be a unique one.
That's definitely for certain.
It's the fanfic is slowly getting. It's my second most viewed video, I think, after the first with John Rambo. So.
Well, it's because you got two things working for you. One, it's erotica. People love erotica.
Yeah.
And two, you're the one that's doing the whole audiobook style narration of it. So
yeah, I have been pondering for a while if I mean, if I should keep going with it because it's so sexual that I don't know if I mean the thing is that I'm more of thinking about the future. If I start doing audiobook, should start, let's say if it works really well and I start, then we start getting like people go back and like listening to that one and
And they're
like
like,
being
what is
like, what
this?
the fuck is this? So, yeah, I've been,
I don't know, maybe make a separate channel just for that.
yeah, or maybe just put it up on SoundCloud.
Yeah, yeah, that works too. Just find like an alternate means of getting it out there. The
Yeah,
people need it, Mark. The
yeah.
people need it.
So I'm probably just gonna go back to putting up SoundCloud again.
You don't
So,
want to make the Rimborgian doorman sad,
yeah,
or Layla either.
yeah. I want to do it as well. That's the thing. So it's just the fact that YouTube doesn't really take kindly to that stuff, and
They're prudes.
yeah, and also, I mean, it's not that I don't. I enjoyed. I mean, it's the problem with the people listening to it. They can't put off a lot of people, unfortunately, which is, well, the first one is still gonna be up because that's not that sexualized.
It's relatively tame next to
Yes.
the second chapter.
Yeah.
So on.
Yeah. The second chapter has a part in it where it sort of turns like, okay, now we're almost at the porno level of stuff here. So yeah. So now with your rant on how great GTA Online has been,
Oh man.
so how do you feel like GTA in general, GTA 5 and online? You don't have. We can start off with GTA 5 because, I mean,
We
on,
doing spoilers, non-spoilers?
uh, we don't have to do spoilers. I mean, it's still
Oh,
early. I
that's
can't.
fine. Yeah, I you beat the game before I did.
Yeah.
I did manage to already beat it though. Try to do the whole GT Online.
Yeah.
Um, as most people know, or as Nate tried to do the whole joke campaign against me, I'm not a
Yeah.
Saints Row fanboy, but however, I do like Saints Row more than I like Grand Theft Auto. But the two games nowadays, especially after Saints Row 3, are two entirely different games
Yeah.
altogether. So it's not really I can't really even say I like Saints Row more than I like Grand Theft Auto because they're two entirely different games. It's now like
Yeah.
apples and oranges. But Grand Theft Auto 5, um, the last game I liked was Grand Theft Auto 3. Grand Theft Auto 3 was probably my favorite out of the series. I really didn't like Vice City or San Andreas, although I did appreciate San Andreas' whole upgrade system. By doing things, you become better.
Yeah.
I avoided 4 altogether because it didn't look very interesting, and a lot of people seem to think that's the ass of the entire series. But 5
Uh,
from the trailers looked interesting, so I
uh,
definitely wanted to give that a
the
shot.
thing is, I feel like uh, GTA 4, amazing story, bad GTA game. That's sort of how I put that. It's the story in it is really compelling and really great in GTA 4. It's just not the GTA game. That's the problem with that game. So, but GTA 5 is so much more
Oh
of a
yeah, I
GTA
mean,
game. But in terms of story, it wasn't that great. But I mean, I feel like they did a good job of having good chemistry between the characters, and that made most of the story work. Uh,
absolutely. Because I mean, the way it worked is there wasn't really much of a story going forward. It was mostly just showing each character's personal story. In some cases, like Michael, you have, some character development, but overall, it's just showing you who these people were, who they are now, and what they're trying to do. And they could have gotten a little bit more with it in certain aspects of it, but overall, I thought it was a lot of fun. It definitely
yeah,
was more of a Grand Theft Auto game, and it really reminded me of Grand Theft Auto 3 in a lot of ways that it was handled.
yeah.
And I was kind of nervous at first because you have three main protagonists. How are you going to be able to juggle that and still keep people interested? But they definitely
Well,
managed to nail that.
yeah, I mean, you didn't really need to change characters at all. I was a little sort of disappointed that way. It really didn't force you that much to change characters. I mean,
No,
I because I since Michael had high shooting abilities, when you used all three of them, I tried to use Michael all the time because he was the best shooter of them all, and you killed everybody before you even had the possibility of changing or needed to change characters. So I mostly stuck with only using Michael because of that in when they're doing all three of them. So the game that way became really really easy, which
yeah,
is sort of sad.
because he has that kind of Max Payne-ish bullet time. He doesn't have the bullet
Yeah.
dodge, but he still slows down time to kill.
Yeah,
Uh,
I never used it even.
no, you didn't need to
That's
because you have the auto lock. The second you go to pull out the pistol, it's already right at their chest. Two
yeah,
shots and they're usually dead.
yeah. I and also I uh, this is something I don't know if people noticed because Sleeping Dogs people didn't you didn't get to use guns that much, but Sleeping Dogs gun system was amazing and probably the best thing in that game. Even but it doesn't people did never did have much guns because it sort of fits into the story, so you didn't really get to use it that much. So even though if you didn't auto aim in Sleeping Dogs, it was so smooth for you to aim, even though using a controller. So that's what I was hoping, that the tightness of GTA 5 could make me uh, aim with the guns even without auto aim, but it wasn't as even close to as smooth as it was in Sleeping Dogs,
No,
which is
apparently in GTA, if you took auto aim off, you're kind of just all over the place, and it was
yeah, yeah.
kind of awful.
That's what I mean. I mean that's why if the that's why the sad thing about Sleeping Dogs, it had so freaking amazing gunplay, but you use I mean it's a world where you can't get many guns in Hong Kong, so
Yeah, and I
so
mean it
it
was unfortunate too because Sleeping Dogs kind of just flew under the radar because that was definitely a great game. It was like the spiritual successor of the True Crime series.
yeah, and it's so much better than the True Crimes game. In my opinion, at least, I didn't like the True Crimes games at all. Uh, so
The
yeah,
the first one was good. True Crime of Streets. I think it was the first one was L.A. The second one
LA.
was in New York. New York was awful. I'd try to erase New York from my memory. But the first one
Yeah,
was great because you had the natural progression of being able to improve on different skills based on different challenges or actually just by doing things out in the world. And it was a lot like what Sleeping Dogs is today, except for obviously Sleeping Dogs took all of that and refined it to something truly great.
yeah, yeah. I mean, Sleeping Dogs was probably one of my uh, uh, favorite games. Probably my favorite game that year. I don't even remember what games also came out that year, but it was one of, if not the best one for me, because the story was amazing, and okay, the fighting was. I mean, it was the grapplers were harder to fight than the boss guys themselves, which I kind of found hilarious. So. I tried to compare the new GTA game to Sleeping Dogs just because it's the sort of the closest thing we got to it
Yeah, it's
at the
the only
moment.
thing you can really draw any kind of near comparison to.
Yeah, and that's why I'm really sad that the gunplay wasn't as good as Sleeping Dogs. Because if GTA had that sort of, then you wouldn't have to use auto aim, and auto aim is like, yeah, I shoot, I kill, I kill, I kill, I kill. I mean, you mean you never have any problems at all. It's just aim, kill, aim, kill, aim, kill.
Yeah, and even then, like you're talking about how in this version of Grand Theft Auto, you have if you're below 50% health, you at least regen back
Yeah,
up to 50% health, which definitely made things a lot
easier.
easier.
Yeah,
I will say this though, compared to at least the other GTA's that I've played, even though you do have the life regeneration if you're below 50% health, you can't take bullets for crap. At
yeah,
least if you don't have armor. Like a cop can kill you in like 2 shots.
yeah.
But
I,
it still is if you take cover, you have the whole cover system and the armor, then it kind of just makes the game easy mode.
yeah. I still felt like this game was because that regen was so much easier than uh, GTA 4. But then again, I haven't played GTA 4 since GTA 4 came out,
Hmm.
so I could remember it wrong. But for me, GTA 5 was too easy.
And at least in terms of the characters, I like the characters. My favorite one is probably Franklin. He seems the most real out of all of them. He actually has like a real personality. Not to say that Michael and Trevor don't. It's just that I
Mm.
really hate Trevor's personality. He's probably the most well-written character out
Yeah,
of the three, but ironically, at the same time, he's the character I hate most, just because who he is.
yeah.
I
He's
mean, every
truly he is truly unpredictable. The
yeah, I mean,
psychopath.
it's great that he basically lives whatever the way everybody wants to. You know, just
Yeah,
do things the way you want to do it. No, screw what everybody else says. But the problem is just he is beyond a sociopath or a psychopath. So there's like some
yeah,
really horrible things he does throughout that campaign
yeah. But
without giving anything away.
yeah, it's pretty interesting for me that this game sort of have moments that just makes you think how fucked up isn't this city. It's not that, I mean, there are always gonna be crazy psychopath like Trevor, but just the most memorable moment for me in the whole game is gonna sound weird, but it's the uh, point where um, Wade's cousin's girlfriend has returned.
Yeah, I remember that. That was kind of
That
weird
moment,
because
that moment is sort of like how it's a defining moment. Really, how fucked up it's. It makes you think like, okay, Trevor's not the only crazy
oh
person.
no, no, he's just the only person that just openly flaunts it.
Yeah,
We're all a little crazy in the head. And that's also another thing I really appreciate that Rockstar does is the fact that the entire game is just a huge satire of our society and
yeah,
kind of humanity as a whole.
yeah,
As far as just like Life
yeah. I
Invader
mean,
and just all
that's
the other things, it's kind of like a slap to our face and a kind of
yeah,
a wake up call that a lot of people are kind of missing.
yeah. It's sort of like this game is more made me more like depressing than anything because I mean, it makes me feel like feel so bad. This game. If the game were harder, then I would say it's one of the best games ever. But for me it falls short because of the simple fact that it is too easy. I and if the game is easy, you don't feel so accomplished when you do the missions, and you don't feel like, oh, I really made that last heist. Oh my god, it was epic. Now, unfortunately, it was like, meh. It was,
Yeah. And I mean, even on the topic of heists, there's this huge
yeah,
thing they were building up in the trailers. They're like, oh,
yeah,
yeah, you're going to have so many heists. You're going to have so many different ways to plan it. And I think through playing, there's only about 4, maybe 5 at most, different
yeah,
heists throughout a very long campaign. It
yeah,
is a long game.
yeah,
But only 4 or 5 times that you actually get to plan out a
yeah.
heist. That's kind of disappointing.
Yeah, and they always be like, they could have made the game go, I mean, longer in years term, in case if they would be like, okay, they have to lay low a while or whatever they do, because it makes sense that they have to lay low after heists and
Yeah,
stuff.
it felt like a very short period of time that all of this was happening. Even though
Yeah,
the game itself was long, just the amount of time between events felt
yeah.
short.
So they could have made more heists that way if they would have, like, it goes longer in terms of months and years.
Yeah.
So yeah,
But as far as features concerned, like I said, they brought back some old ones like San Andreas, the whole ability to build up your character as far as their skills, the whole customization. I made
yeah,
sure everybody wore a suit. Everybody was wearing a suit, even Trevor. But I gave
yeah,
him like the mullet and the hobo beard
yeah,
to go along with it.
yeah. I never. I usually like custom creation, uh, but the problem with me with this game was that seeing how you change around your characters, they always wear something different every time.
Yeah,
So it was
such a
like,
pain.
yeah. So I was like, okay, I don't want to bother with it because it's unless they're. I usually only changed like Trevor, yes, because I don't really want to him to look like a hobo. I sort of wanted him to look like sort of badass style without having to have him have a suit at least. So
Yeah.
that's the only one I tried to change. Franklin, I don't know if what I would change him to. Michael, I didn't really care about what he were. Really.
Yeah. I think Michael was kind of the in-between character. I liked his character because he was the walking embodiment of a midlife crisis and
Yeah.
kind of just trying to find himself and what he want to do with his life, which is definitely a very real thing, even to people that are not, at his
Yeah.
age. Just like nowadays, there's people who are just like, even people around my age. Like I'm
Yeah.
26. At least I know what I want to do, but there's other people around my age or even a little bit older before they get to that point of midlife crisis. They're not exactly sure what they want to do.
Yeah.
And it's definitely a very real thing to try and deal with, try and figure out who you are, what you want to do with life, where you see yourself in the future.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, my dad started to study to become, uh, I don't know what the English term for, but like a special teacher for
Hmm.
people with autism and that sort of stuff. And he decided to do that when he was 40. So, I mean, it's life, it's a long life, so you
Yeah, I mean,
will
there's always the
change.
capacity for change or doing
Yeah,
something else or even just reinventing yourself.
yeah. And to be honest, I mean, the um, Michael's family is.
So screwed up. I love
Yeah,
how they blame him when they're just as
yeah,
bad. Like the
yeah,
spouts he gets in with his wife, she's like, "Oh, you keep sleeping around with women. I never once slept with anybody as Michael in that
yeah.
game." So whenever she said that, but
Me neither.
she's
I,
screwing the tennis instructor, the yoga guy,
yeah,
and then on your way to therapy. Not that's not really a spoiler, but
uh,
just something that happens in the game. Uh, your kids are even talking about all the different guys that she slept with. You're
yeah,
just like, whoa, and she's trying to tell me I'm a pig.
yeah,
That
yeah.
family is like absolutely dysfunctional. Actually, it kind of just seems like your typical American family again, like a
Yeah,
satire. You got the daughter who's doing anything she can for attention because she's not
yeah,
getting it home, so she's doing not so wholesome things. You have the son who's just a slacker stoner who sits around all day playing video games, not doing much with his life. And then you just have Michael and Amanda, which just
yeah.
the perfect parents.
Well, it sort of feels like it's sad because it seems like Michael always wants to try.
Yeah, nobody ever gives him the benefit of the
Yeah.
doubt.
So
He's always the bad guy.
that's really the only why I I'm just gonna say I chose option C in the end because of the fact that I've kind of felt sorry for.
Yeah, I mean, and not to go over too much, but to me, option C is the only one that made like the real amount of any kind of sense because the other options you had, uh, again, as much disdain as I have for a certain character,
Hmm.
it just didn't seem right to go that route. The best route seemed to be C. It's all or nothing.
Well, the fact is, the decision I took really was the fact that Franklin wouldn't make the first two decisions, in my opinion. I just
No, no,
based
definitely not.
my decision on what Franklin would have done, of
Yeah,
how they
because
decide the characters. I mean,
he got to know Trevor and Michael so well, and he looks up to them. They're practically like his mentors, and they're also a harsh lesson to be learned based on how they turned out. I mean, to him it was like almost like family. So
yeah,
it's like you couldn't do that. So that's why really was only one option that you could go with.
yeah. I must say, this is I'm not gonna say, but uh, I made one of the most beautiful assassinations on the last mission, on the Ferris wheel.
Nice.
I made a perfect sniper shot. I mean, it was like I didn't think I would actually make that. I was like, holy crap! So I didn't even get cops or whatever after me. It was clean kill. I mean,
That's what happened for me the second time. The first time I used a rocket launcher just for the lulz. But then I got like glitch stuck, which doesn't
uh,
happen very often, but it did.
I used the rocket launcher uh, on the one that Franklin wanted to kill, because
Oh yeah.
that was just that assassination was just begging for having, like, you just
A rocket to
stood
the face.
yeah, that was just beautiful.
Um, yeah, I mean, Grand Theft Auto 5 was great. Grand Theft Auto Online, though.
Yeah,
Oh, man. It's sad because a lot of people on Xbox 360 are saying they're able to get on, but nobody, or just about nobody, yesterday was able to get on Grand Theft Auto Online on PlayStation 3, and it was
uh,
pretty much a travesty. Like Nate did his whole
yeah,
nearly 20-minute rant video where he used a funny screenshot of me, the
yeah,
bastard, and then I made my little joke skit video making fun of the online experience or lack thereof.
yeah.
And like even then, before we started the Crowncast, I tried to get on GTA Online, and I'm stuck waiting there, literally, like not even exaggerating, for a good 8 minutes for other people to join that first race.
Yeah, but
Nothing.
that's the way it was for Xbox yesterday. So I understand that you. I haven't tried it today on Xbox because I can't be bothered to wait 40 minutes for me
No, no. And
to
it's
play the first race. I want to get past the first thing just so I can have it done. So maybe I can play with uh, Jan and DSP possibly on
yeah,
Saturday. That's the only reason. As far as I can tell, I mean, the unless you're playing with friends, it doesn't sort of feel like I would want to do it, because
exactly.
it's an online game. You want to play it with other people, and so I. That's why I. That's the thing I'm aiming for, because you guys have it on PlayStation 3, and I have an Xbox.
Yeah. But I mean, it was a misstep on Rockstar's part. I know a lot of people were like, it was to be expected. I even joked and said it's to be expected. And a lot of people did expect it, but it doesn't mean
Yeah.
it's excusable
Hmm.
because they purposely, waited 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like they didn't even launch Grand Theft Auto Online with Grand Theft Auto 5 to begin with. And they even had the years of development of making Grand Theft Auto 5 in the first place to where they should have anticipated this. They even knew they were going
I
to
sort
sell a
of feel
lot
like they should
and it
have.
should have been ready.
I should have. I feel like they should have had people, they should have uh, uh, people who bought maybe the collector's edition or special sort of people should have gotten to go on a little bit earlier
But
on.
yeah, kind of use them as the beta testers. Even.
Yes, sort of like to like test the servers, and then it probably would be problem then, and but then you would know what sort of isn't working, so you need to fix that before you release it for everyone else. Sort
Yeah,
of how beta works. You
it's a scary trend.
Yeah.
It's a scary trend too because I mean, look at the whole SimCity debacle, Diablo 3.
Yeah.
It's like it's kind of just to take away from what Nate said, and I kind of agree with it too. You have the whole concept of companies like Microsoft who are like, oh yeah, we should always be online. It's like,
Yeah.
well, look what happens when you're always online. You have things that are supposed to be working on release day,
Yeah.
and it like with SimCity, it was I think almost 2 weeks before they got that thing figured out, and that's just
Yeah.
inexcusable. We pay for
Yeah.
a product, we expect it to work. If it's buggy, it's one thing, but if it's non-functional, then there's an issue.
Yeah. And sort of interesting with SimCity. I mean, yeah, from what I heard from people who have gone back to the game now is the fact that you will inevitably fail. Everyone city will fail eventually because apparently you don't have space to save the city when you get to a certain point, and then you have to demolish something. But if you demolish that, then something else is, so it's sort of like an avalanche of problems.
So the end game is to fail.
Yes. So everyone will fail their end game right now in SimCity. So they designed that horribly. So
Good
if
time.
people made, yeah, but they made money off it. That's the sad part.
That's why I stick to my Pokemon. I don't have to worry about day one issues and not being able to get online and play with other people,
Yeah.
or anything like that.
Yeah, that's a good thing with Nintendo, is that I hope they will. I think the route that they're trying to do is good, even though they haven't figured it out yet. I mean,
Yeah, the whole friend code system's kind of all over the place.
Yeah, but I mean, like having the games be released on their system before you can buy it as a copy. I think the idea of it is great. Just the fact that it takes like 10 days for you to download it. It's the biggest problem what I've heard.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Pokemon is happening soon.
Damn straight. I'm excited for it, and I'm going to talk about it again on Gamer Talk Live, even though Nate probably doesn't even want me to, but it's too damn bad. Because in a week, I'm getting it. I'm taking my ass to Walmart because screw GameStop, because they're not even having a midnight release for it anyways.
Yeah.
I'm getting it, opening it up, playing the shit out of it, and doing a full playthrough, because people have been asking me about it anyways.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, I was going to play it anyways, but sure, I'll record it.
Yeah, this is the first Pokemon game I've played since the Sapphire game, so I'm excited to see how it will work. It's
Oh yeah,
the
a
new Pokemon
huge amount of changes
Yeah,
from
the new
previous
Pokemon
games.
looks really like Pokemons, because I for me sort of like how the Pokemon was in black and white, and I sort of, I don't know, it's just most of the design in, I think, in black and white, and I don't remember where this was it after Sapphire and those were the
After Ruby and Sapphire, I believe was Diamond and Pearl.
Right, Diamond and Pearl. I didn't like Pokemon in that one as well, so I'm so far I'm excited to see what how I'm gonna like the new one.
Oh yeah, I still think that Pokemon number 666 should not be some kind of dark Pokemon that people are going to expect. It should instead be a fairy type, be like one of the most adorable things Nintendo's ever created.
Yeah.
Just to throw everybody for a loop, just to trick everybody with that.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely going to be rolling with my original team. I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, we want to see new Pokemon. Well, I'll be fighting them.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be rolling with my Snorlax, my Sceptile, my Infernape, my Samurott, my Raichu, and my Hydreigon. But if one of the newer Pokemon are better, I'll probably swap out one of my teammates for some of the newer Pokemon. With the exception of Snorlax, because Snorlax is the shit.
Yeah, I used to base off sort of like the Pokemon I liked from the anime. Sometimes, if that's the way I did it when I tried out Diamond, Pearl, and Black and White. My sister had it, so I tried it out, and so I just went around catching Pokemon I liked from the anime. So that's the sort of like how I did it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I couldn't, I didn't sort of like how the Pokemon in those two. So I'm really hoping there's Pokemon I like in the new one. I'm sort of sad that some Pokemon you can't really get because they're, or you can catch them, but they're really bad.
Yeah.
So,
Actually, speaking of which, they have the Mega Evolutions. Funny enough, they just released today, and it's probably going to be kind of a thing. Charizard has a second Mega Evolution, specifically for X. Because you know how they already talked about the one? That's going to be for Y. His X Mega Evolution, he actually becomes black and blue. And he's actually finally going to be Dragon type. He's going to be Fire and Dragon.
Okay.
So he's going to be black with blue flames. He looks pretty crazy.
So that's the reason why they get people to play get X.
Exactly. Now
because,
it's no longer just a Pokemon. Now what a lot of people are speculating is because Mewtwo already has two versions, the X version and the Y version for Mega Evolutions. A lot of people are thinking all the Mega Evolutions now, because they've released Charizard's going to be that way. They think all of them are going to be that way.
Yeah. Maybe I should get X instead then. But I've been debating that because even though I mean in the Y version it's that legendary looks so much badass compared to the like reindeer looking one.
Yeah.
So, but I sort of feel like I'm sort of gonna be like hipster. No, the reindeer one is much cool.
They seem to be coming out with more and more reasons for people to get X, at least with the Mega Evolutions.
Yes, they want people to get both.
They definitely do, which is why they have the two different Mega Evolutions in the first place.
Yeah.
But people are already switching to X just because they have Mega Charizard, which is finally, which should have been from the beginning, instead of Fire Flying, Fire Dragon.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe I shouldn't, because I have decided not to go Charizard, so I don't know.
Wouldn't make any difference. But Venusaur and Blastoise are more likely going to have their own secondary Mega Evolution too, but only time will tell, especially when we're only a week away.
Yeah. I'm gonna roll Blastoise and the Fox one, probably.
That'd probably be the way to go. You kind of get the two different kinds.
Yeah, because I like Squirtle. I'm sort of like, should I just go and stick with Squirtle the whole game just because I...
Just do it. He becomes Blastoise, and if you have the Mega Shard, it becomes Mega Blastoise. So he has 3 cannons.
Yeah. No, 4. Or maybe 3 and 1 huge one.
Yeah, it's what it is. What it is he's got like the 2 hand cannons, and he has the one giant one coming out of his back.
That's Hydro Pump. Holy shit.
Just annihilate anything that gets in its way.
Yeah. Yeah,
Take your steel type. I don't care.
yeah, yeah. I know yeah, I can see why people go uh, X that way because I think most people like Charizard
Oh
most.
yeah, he's probably one of the most. I almost want to say overhyped, but then I know I'm going to get backlash for saying that. But everybody for some reasons like Charizard.
Yeah,
I
and
guess because the
also
fact
that
he looks like a
also
dragon.
anime has also to do with that one. I feel
Yeah,
because everyone Charizard and
he's a
every,
fan favorite.
yeah, I
I
mean you
mean,
have
the
Squirtle.
Charizard Pokemon card
Yeah,
is one of the most expensive cards out there. It's worth the most, but
yeah,
not because it's rare, because there are other cards that are far more rare than it is, but just
yeah,
because of the popularity of it.
yeah, yeah. Because people like Bulbasaur, Squirtle, and Charizard. It's it's not people really not into Blastoise and Venusaur in the same way because that's not how the anime who everyone watched was. So yeah,
Which Ash was a really crappy trainer. He was able to go ahead and evolve a Charizard because that's all he ever used. He power leveled Charmander into Charizard, but never gave any experience to Squirtle or
well
Bulbasaur.
the no he gave Everstone to Bulbasaur and Squirtle learned Hydro Pump, so it must be so freaking high level.
He
So
gave them both Everstones. Just no, there's only you never really saw it.
yeah, you never saw Squirtle really getting an Everstone, but he must have gotten it because I mean, if he can learn Hydro Pump on his own, he must be so powerful. So it's always I feel like that's what everyone was surprised with when they met Ash in battle, because oh it's just a squirrel or just a Bulbasaur, but they're so freaking high level
Yeah,
that
because you figure in real life Pokemon, there's no such thing as levels, or at least anything you'd be able to perceive.
yeah
So it's like, oh, it's a Squirtle. Man, this fight's gonna be Hydro Pump. Oh
yeah
shit!
you're not expecting that really, so
No.
yeah, yeah. Uh, my favorite Pokemon is uh, Krabby slash Kingler, because from the anime, that was the one I loved the most from it all. So still to this day, unfortunately, uh, Krabby was really hard to use in Pokemon. Well, at least that's what I felt like. It was really hard to play with because there's so other Pokemon that's more powerful.
Exactly. And
Uh,
it's a shame too where it comes down to that. You kind of have to think meta. You have to go ahead and think about what's most powerful, like having the most powerful team versus
yeah,
what team you like, especially if you want to play competitively. That's the only
yeah,
reason why I don't like playing competitively is because you can't choose what you like. You have to
yeah,
choose what works.
yeah. I uh, yeah. I mean, you had to seeing how uh, I'm gonna admit this on the public air that I emulated my Pokemon games. So the stuff like trading, like uh, Graveler or uh, Kadabra or whatever, I couldn't do that. So
Yeah.
so I was stuck with the Kadabra, but it was still a freaking powerful. I still used it in, I think. Was it Sapphire? No, it was Crystal. I just used that as my main because it's so OP.
Oh yeah, Kadabra was definitely even just the whole line. Kadabra and Alakazam were
Yeah,
all very powerful psychic users.
yeah,
But you know the
yes,
good news is, right, Mark? Well, Pokemon XY, it's going to be international, easy to connect and play with anybody and trade with
yeah,
anybody.
yeah. So we can play it sometime. I just gonna try. I'm just gonna try and go for the Pokemon that I think looks awesome and stuff. But we will see if that works out for me really.
I mean, that's kind of the way I did it. I went for ones that I actually liked, but also were just had so happened to be halfway decent in
Yeah,
terms of power.
yeah, I usually
So
do
it
that.
all worked out.
Yeah. But I still sometimes do it's go for weird stuff. I went for having unknown always in my unknown in my party. Well, I managed to win. I had Kadabra as my main. I had an unknown. I had. I think I had a Typhlosion. Or
Yeah,
and then I had. Uh, no, no, I traded out my Typhlo or had it in my PC just because it's so OP. Typhlosion. I was like, I can't use it. It doesn't make it fun. So I can't
it's
really.
over
Yeah,
9,000.
sort of like that. I can't really remember, but maybe I had Skarmory or whatever. I had good variation on it.
Yeah, it's definitely good to go ahead and change things up. The most powerful one I have on my team is probably Hydreigon, which is actually classified as a pseudo legendary based on just how powerful it is.
Mm.
But the reason why I picked it, funny enough, wasn't even because of its power. It was one because of its design, because it just looks awesome. It's a
Mm.
three-headed dragon. So how could you go wrong with that?
Yeah.
And two, because of the fact Godzilla. As a little kid and even to this day, absolute huge fan of Godzilla. And that kind of just reminded me because of the three-headed dragon thing of Ghidorah, which is funny enough what I nicknamed Hydreigon. So I'm like, yes, that's got to be a part of my team.
Yeah. I I am get I'm interested to see what I go with because I won't trade. I won't use any of my old because I don't have any. So that will be interesting to see what I will go for.
Hey, you let me know what you want. I might be able to hook you up with some Pokemon.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, we would just have to wait and see.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I think that's will wrap this one up for today. So,
And we went for what, a good hour or so?
yeah,
Damn.
I think so. Yeah, almost an hour. I don't really know. We didn't start directly when the Skype call started, but around an hour. It's all good. I
Yeah,
haven't done one since Sunday, Chromecast, so
I
people,
appreciate having me on.
yes, it was fun. Now to at someday have Nate on as well,
Yeah.
and I also need to have OJ on at some point. But I know he's a busy person, so that will take some time. Oh shit! I
OJ
almost
brings all the
forgot that.
viewers to the yard.
Yeah, I also need to have on Slinky, who I promised a while back. But I mean, it's hard to be since I'm in Sweden. Sometimes some people it works becomes harder to get on.
There's just such a high demand to be on Mark Crown Stories. It's like the
Yes,
place to be.
yeah, and I don't want to be have inflation of guest podcasts because I like having. I think the having changed it up between having solo and guest is what makes it good right now.
Oh yeah,
So
it definitely makes the Crowncast more interesting.
yeah,
It's like, what's going to be this week? Oh, it's solo. Cool. What's it
yeah,
going to be this week? Oh, Anthony's on. Man, I have to watch that.
yeah, yeah. So I usually plug the other people. So yeah, so it's the YouTube is AmzAveGameAnt, and your Twitter is AmzAveAdv Anthony. Ant, I mean,
Yeah.
it's gonna be in the description. So
Yeah, or I mean, at least as far as YouTube's concerned, you could always just search by Amazingly Average Anthony or even Amazingly Average Gameplay of Anthony.
yeah,
That's also another easy way to get it to pop up if you're interested. Got
yeah,
like Def Jam Vendetta, Fight for New York going right now, the Grand Theft Auto skit, Guns of Icarus that we
yeah,
played, which is
yeah,
also a great game.
yeah. That's fun game. So it's really cheap right now. They have lowered the standard pricing for AmzAveGameAnt. So if people like to get that game, I think it's I know it's 450 in euro. So what can that be in dollars? $6-7?
Oh yeah, that's definitely cheaper than it was last time I looked. I think it was like $15
Yeah,
American.
yeah, yeah.
Last time I
It
checked.
was. I said when I was going to buy the 4 pack, it was 40 euros when I looked at it, and then I delayed it until we the week after. It wasn't planned. It was just okay. I'm just gonna wait a little bit, and the week after they lowered it to like I don't know 22. So they halved the price for that. So it's cheaper now. So people want to maybe play with us. We need more people playing with us that game. It's
Yes, we
makes it
definitely
more fun.
need a secondary ship because we need to be able to coordinate and kick ass.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah. Also, my sister has won against us too many times now.
Yeah, she's
Bastard.
keeping those other people alive.
Yeah. Yeah, so that will be it for today. You can find my Twitter as always at Story on the Twitter world. I still don't have anything else. Maybe I should plug now that I've started the Terraria 1.2 patch, I should plug my other YouTube channel. It's KOC and Crown. It's now we're gonna keep uploading Saints Row vids until we're done with that game, and Terraria will take many months before we're gonna be done with that because we started from the beginning, and so that's gonna take a while before we get anywhere in that game. It's hard to kind of speed up that game, so it's a fun game, Terraria. You played it with gaming with right?
Oh yeah, I've done it twice. Once with
Yeah,
my friend Carrie, and another one with Sarah, or otherwise known as Sazasar.
yeah, yeah. It's Terraria is a
It's
great
an
game.
evil game.
It's changed a lot now with the 1.2 patch. So if people want to check it out, I highly recommend it.
Yeah, I'll probably have to check out your video and see what they changed.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe it would take. You will see in the second episode. You will see the new ice biome, and also just ores are quite different. They instead of you go get like iron directly. I don't know if iron is even in it. I've only found tin, lead, and tungsten, which John Rambo is so gonna be happy with if you ever played it. I just have to bring that up on the show. Like, you can find tungsten in Terraria, then you can work it at the workbench, and he's gonna be like, yay! For people that don't understand that, Dead Space 3, watch the playthrough with DSP if people want to know what I'm talking about. he he loved that workbench. So yeah. So thanks you all for listening, and I will see you guys on another Crowncast. Bye.
Until next time.